All right, in this video we're going to edit the design of the course page and go from there. One of the reasons that it's generally speaking, I don't like to use the default templates, and you'll see that here, is that um, almost all these templates are running an old layout methodology, and you'll see this big layout convert to container. When you do that, in general, it will, like, you'll see it creates duplicate below and it's somewhat busted. But this is the way that laying out is going to work going forward. So that is the biggest reason why we don't use the templates off the top, right? We tend to clone something that we've already built. It's because of this reason. But let me go and start doing a little bit of work here. I'm going to pause and I'll come back and we can continue forward with how to make modifications. Okay, so what I did here is down at the very bottom there's this drag widget area, and I grabbed a container, threw it down in here. It'll create a new section over here called container, and then I dragged that up to the top next to the section area. We did that so that we could rebuild this into this new container. So, so if we look at it, in the new style layout like this, you see it's a block, and then this is centered and all of that. So what we're going to do, we're going to rebuild this same structure. Essentially, this is a row. This is a row. This is a row. And this is a row, I guess. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. Well, no. Let's just say this is a row, this is a row, this section's a row, and this section is a row. I guess that's 4 rows. All right, so I have my container. What I'm going to do is drag a container into it. And I'm just going to I'm going to duplicate that container 4 times. It's basically our 4 rows. Then to start, I'm going to click the whole section, which is this main container, and we're going to call this hero. And then we're probably going to add a video in here, so we'll add another section. But this hero section, I think it's much nicer than having all of these laid out where it doesn't really say what they are. So this is a hero. This is the nav row. This is the headline row. This is the subheading row and the action row, button row. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is in this hero section is copy over from here this background. And so we're going to go to the style of this section. And as you can see, what they did, they've done an image. It looks like this Web3 crash course image right here. And oh, this is the other thing, is it imported a bunch of assets in here that aren't that we may or may not use. So either way, okay, background type, image, grab that same image, and we've copied that in. Now we need this e-course. And so what we're going to do is, in this row, we need 2 containers. We need a left and a right. And so we're going to drag a container in here and we're going to duplicate it. And then we're going to go to that outside container and we're going to say that this is left to right and that we want all the content like kind of center aligned, and we want all the content with the space between. So we want it to be on the outside edges. We want all the space in between these two. And then on the left side, they've got this eCourse. We are obviously going to put our own image in here and grab a logo. This is my one for dark backgrounds. And then we're going to say custom, and the height of that, you can just set the height. Let's say it's 48. That's too big, so maybe 36. Yeah, okay, maybe 24. And then for this container, we are going to left align it. And that's good. And then on the right, we have this Enroll Now button. We want to literally just drag this button down into the right one, the right container here, if we can. Sometimes it'll let us. And sometimes it won't. It's just it can be a real kind of pain. As we can see, it's actually not even wired to anything. So so maybe what we try one more time, and then if all right, forget that. So next, we are so this is just a button. So we're going to drag this button down, and then we're going to copy this button, and then we're going to go here and we're going to paste the style of the button. And then we're going to enroll now. And we're going to call this checkout down here, and then we're in our button. Just making sure there's nothing else to do here. We're going to use an anchor to anchor it to the checkout page. So that is the first row. What I like to do is, I think that making it feel like a navigation is a nice thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab the wrapping container here, and we're going to give it a background color of white, but then we're going to take the opacity way down. And then what we're going to do is do the borders and set border radius 32. And you'll see that what that does is it creates this kind of shadow around it. And then we're going to give this a padding of 0. And that, oh crap. There we go. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And again, we need to make sure this wrapping container is set to center align, space between, and you can get rid of the gap, and that we want things wrapping. Okay, so we'll just delete this button. Okay, so we've got our first row done. Here we have Web3 Crash Course, the essentials, and this is for elements that are just like this with text. Right. We don't need containers because the way that the Flex layouts work, you only need wrappers if you're going to be handling that as a group. In this case, we've just got 3 things. There's kind of center align. There's equal space between them. Therefore, we don't really need that. And so then we're going to take this and we're going to copy, come here, and we're going to paste the style. And we're going to come back to heading. And then we're going to copy again. This is the one plus of using the template. You can paste, but as you see, it still didn't quite get it. The typography has been somewhat modified. Enter 18. Yeah, so here, this was a P element, where ours is an H2, so we're going to change this to a P element. There we go. And they don't have a period on the end. All right. So, that is that. And we don't have reviews yet, so we can't add this because we're just building this out. So we're not going to be falsifying stuff. Next is this button. Yep, and that is a link to the page. That's great. See, as you can see, it is doing the same thing we did before. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a button and drag that into this next section. We're going to copy this button and we're going to paste the style of the button here. And we're going to grab our button and check out. Yeah, see, this is some of the problem, is that sometimes the buttons execute when you're trying to edit them. Our course is $97, and we don't need this batch or whatever because we haven't gotten to that point yet. So we're actually going to delete this one, and then we're going to take all of this, and as we see, we've got a little bit of space. So what we would like is we'd like a little more space kind of above and below this group. So the headline and the subhead, which is now just the button action. Right, we would like these to be grouped, and so and here as well, this guy needs to have so what we're going to do is to do it correctly when you're doing these kind of layouts, you can guess where we're going with this. We're going to add a container into the hero. If we can get it up somewhere for us. There we go. And then we're going to drag this above, and we're going to open this guy, and then we're going to drop the heading and the action button into second row, like that. And we're going to make sure these are, this main section is flex, direction is down. And then we are going to add a little bit of min height. And you can see that what that does is that'll expand the width of this. And then we want to make sure that our content is justified content center, and that will center it in the container of this div. And so that is the header section. So okay, so next we're going to delete this whole header section, get it out of our way, and now we're going to move on to these next sections and continue on the next video.